Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and today once again back with another Dirt 5 video. You can see the track that we've been creating so far. Here of course your mogul section, heading along here up to that tight hairpin. We know we've got hairpin sections over here, we've got sort of flatter banking, steeper banking, a sort of like half pipe section. Plenty of action here. It's looking really nice so far. I'm pretty happy with what we've managed to bring together in a sense for this section. You know, we've done the top half, we finished that off last video, headed all the way down here, made some massive changes to this now. It is very bumpy still, but it's a bit nicer to drive. Then a left-hander, which you can actually take it really close there. So I quite like how you can take that inside glide for that left-hander. Quite like that. Over here, you can't. You're going to take a bit of a wider line before the checkpoint. We also adjusted this section over here, and that sort of made it a little bit tighter at the moment. I think that's quite nice, having it a bit tighter. On the exit-wise, you then get spat out into this very tight section here. It is quite a nasty one in terms of a section to be able to drive, because it's difficult. It's the most technical part of the track. You're probably thinking, why have I put it there? Well, I think we need that. We need that as part of the track. We need technicality in it too. And this is probably the most difficult part of the track. And it is slow speed. But that's good in a sense, because a lot of that, we've got a lot of high speed stuff. Then this section here, this is probably the most difficult part of the track. You can just about fit a car in. You've got to take a wide line on entry. Straight after here, you've got to almost... It's really weird because you're taking it out of here, then you've got to sort of head, take a line to the left, flick to the right, then head along here. It's very tight and twisty, but you've got to keep it as close to these little barrier edges there, because for this section here, you want to get to the right, swerve across to the right again to be able to go through here. This bit is quite a devil. You know, I'm not sure whether it is a little too tight. We will test it out again in a second, but I am a little tempted to make a change or two around here. I mean, in terms of like the Dirt 5, you won't see many of these. We haven't got any of the Dirt 5 advertising boards heading down here. But I think we're going to add one in over here, just for something a bit different. There we go. Of course, if you guys haven't watched these videos already, this is a continuation of a series, if you guys don't know. So it is a continuation of a series. If you haven't already watched it, you don't have to watch it, but if you do want to watch it, watch the other videos, you can just dip a bit of them. You don't need to watch all of them, of course, and there's no point doing that. You'll be there all day, but you can watch chunks of it. You know, there's plenty of creating. I do believe this might be the 6th video we're on. Could be wrong there, could be mistaken. Don't fear to tell me in the comments section below if I am, but I think it is. So we're getting along with this series, and we are coming towards the end of it. Again, I've got straight into creating here. Just think it's a good idea, you know, we'll put one of them there. Just why not get straight into creating, really? I think that sort of makes a bit of sense, to get straight into making the rest of this track here. Another one of these is the call of the day. There's quite a few around this section. Certainly advertising Dirt 5 quite a bit. Really makes it feel quite difficult in the chicane section. Then this bit here stops you from taking a wide end, like a close entry there, which you don't actually want to do. You know, we've got a lot of barriers to colorize, in a sense, that do not want to stay where they're meant to be, which is always quite annoying. Oh god, that's not going to happen. Thank you. Oh god, I can't reach it now. There we go. Can be a little bit fiddly at times with barriers and stuff. Of course, we are making a time trial track. There are checkpoints, different sections to it, and the section we're on at the moment is a very large section, in fact, all the way from here at this checkpoint all the way along to here. Let me have a look at the width of a checkpoint, because I mean, in my opinion, it is a little long of a section here. Where am I going? We're going to want to go to Gate Crasher. That's of course the name of this. It's certainly not as aggressive as the name does suggest, but it is high speed action, I have to say. I mean, it's a bit of a difficult one to know if you want to put this in here, whether we put it in or not. But actually, I could just put a checkpoint in there. After that, then this element's around here. Kind of makes sense to put it there, doesn't it, really? We can actually move it a bit closer there. That makes a bit more sense, move it a bit closer. There we go, just slamming a checkpoint there before the chicane section, which is definitely, probably, in my opinion, the most difficult part of the track to do, because it is technical, it's high speed, it is difficult, but it's fun at the same time. You know, I think it's a fun section to try. This is my favorite part of the track, definitely. Tell me what you guys tell me what your favorite part of the track is. Of course, we are at the bottom section of the track now, so, you know, we're really getting along, and we're just going along, finishing touches, adjustments, you know, making everything a little bit better, a little bit more interesting. Always a good idea, and that's what we're trying to do at the moment, because why not make it more interesting and more fun? As we've just gone past the right colour we want. We are, you know, this lovely colour scheme still is leaving a bit of yellow around the edges, which I do quite like about it. I think it goes well with the sort of idea of the colour scheme. We could actually add in another barrier here. There we go. There we go. That's a bit better. You're not really going to be taking this section that much, are you, really? That close and tight. Come on. Perfect. There we go. We always have problems with these sections. It is common, guys. If you haven't watched my videos already on this, but you know, it's often the barriers cause problems. We've had a few problems trying to line them up. Say a few. We've had a few too many problems trying to line them up. In terms of this section, we're actually going to get rid of these two and these two. We're going to go in for the Dirt5 advertisement, special ones in a sense. They're a bit different. Still really nice barriers. If we can just slot that in. There we go. Then of course, same again over here. If it lines up. I want to go across one. There we go. Thankfully, it doesn't tell me that I've done it wrong, and that is correct. This section really interesting. You can take a high line, you can take a low line. Whichever one you do, it's about doing it quickly and effectively, you know. It's quite easy to potentially to be a bit too aggressive, lose the car. It is not an easy section to drive, I have to say. Then, your next chunk of track. I'm going to revamp this section. I liked the tunnel, but it wasn't, in my opinion, that fantastic. I think we could have gone better. So you guys guessed it right. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go bigger. We're going to go better. Here, it makes sense to go bigger and better. We're going to level up this track a few times. Make it a bit more interesting through the tunnel section. I liked it, but it just wasn't that great, in my opinion, at the same time. It was okay. It was the tunnel section. It didn't really do it for myself in terms of making this track. Turn off a bit of grid snapping so we can free place the checkpoint where we want it. Of course, always a good idea if we get it lined up right, because it seems to be that we've got it a little bit oddly lined up there. That's right. No, they're right, they're right. Okay. Well then, the fun of it, eh? The fun. See, the problem with grid snapping, it's very helpful. You should have it turned on most of the time. Sometimes the intricate placements, it moves it around for you where you don't want it. But anyway, we've sorted that out now. There is your checkpoint, which sends us into the tunnel section now. The tunnel section, did I like it? Yes. Is it going to stay like this? No. Going to go along, quickly delete all of this section. Sounds a little harsh, I know. But it just wasn't, in my opinion, really going well. I felt like it was a bit bland. Just get rid of all this stuff. It's quite a lot to get rid of. Nice to have the music in the background, I have to say, on this game. Really nice to have it. It's got that effect, though, as if you're like you're next door to a party. I said that before, you know. I quite like it. It's a good game, this, you know. Really fun in the playground mode. Of course, you guys might want to give it a try sometime. It's a good mode, this playground. You can create what you want, how you want. Really fun. Plenty of different options of where you can build it. We've chosen this place. It's a really nice place in Italy, next to a valley. I love the mountains, so I mean, for me, definitely something I wanted. There is the checkpoint. We're going to have to sort that out in a second. There shouldn't be any more real colour changing now because everything that we're placing down is going to be brand new. So we're not going to have that problem, really, in terms of having to get the colours changed. Because it's a bit of a pain, isn't it? I understand that. It's not exactly the most thrilling of things to watch someone do. But it has to be done. This, however, is the fun bit. Once we've got this done. Because we get to just finish off the track with something hopefully interesting. Whether we'll finish the series in this video, I'm not entirely sure. We should be able to get this done in this video. It's a big chunk of track, but we haven't spent ages managing to have to do the last bit. We're only a little bit into this one, so we should be able to really get rock and rolling with what we've got to finish off with. I like the idea of a tunnel. Don't worry, there will be some tunnel elements in it. However, I think we can go better, and I think we can go bigger, personally. I think there's more that we can do than what we have with this. That's just personal. Really, I think we can just go a bit bigger. And a bit better. We've just quickly cleared it out. It's taken a couple of mins. But, I mean, I wasn't entirely happy with what we had before. It should be a bit darker with this colour scheme. I think the reds certainly won't be as forgiving as the yellows are. I do think, I think it'll be a bit darker, which I like about it. I think we need that darkness for the tunnel. Let's go, like, 2 along here. Actually, I think we're probably better with 4. Let's turn back on object snapping. We're probably going to need 4, I think. Maybe. No, I think we'll be alright with 2. And then it's going to kick you into the tunnel section, which I've been pretty much looking forward to do. It's going to be a good section, I hope. Platform blocks, dirt blocks, all of these things that you need for your tunnel section are over here. You can, of course, use this and that. Actually, I think we might use this. Let me have a look. We might actually use this. Let's just have like a single file tunnel section probably around here. Let's go with that. So, different idea. Bin these, we don't need them. Unnecessary. Now we have this. But as you can see, it's going to be totally different. That's at least what I'm hoping for, really. But it's going to be a bit different, and it's going to be certainly a bit unusual compared to before. Right, that's that section there. Then the tunnel continues along here, as you do. We're going to move the finish line. That is going to be quite a bit out of the way for the moment here. As you can see, a tunnel starting to form. Nice and lovely, eh? But that's not exactly the total plan here. We have a bit more of a plan. So you're heading along the tunnel. We're going to continue with these blocks. We want to make it darker. We want to make it a bit different. So we are going to have a corner here. Of course, before we worked this a little differently. What we are going to do is we're going to, first of all, change the colours. Makes sense? I'm hoping you're going to... Oh yeah, we need to turn off manual object height on, sorry. There we go, that's a bit better. Is that got far enough along to go again? No. Right, so we're going to delete this. I want 2 along here. There we go, 2 along. And then, of course, you can round this lovely corner, which we're starting to make. Don't know if we need it this kind of deep inwards. Let's go probably again with this along a bit. We're just going to keep going along. There we go, that's better. That's the plan. There we go. There we go. That works. Let's continue along. Then with this, we can turn off manual object height and just start placing things as you do, but object snapping needs to be turned on. Come on, is that right lined up? There we go. That should be lined up. Here we go. Then all the way along the front end here. But how long are we gonna have this much to turn, I think. Is probably what we need. I think. Hopefully. I'm right. Always helps to be. Is manual object height on? We won't have it on. Let's change the colour of this then. Let's get these sorted. Like that, like so. There should be no gaps in terms of the edges. We don't want gaps on the edges because we're making something really nice and cool for this. There we go. So now we can throw these in. These blocks in. There. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they can sometimes seep in at the edges and the little gaps. So we are closing all the edges up in a sense, because we don't want any little gaps getting in. We want a dark tunnel. We want a cool tunnel. Something a little bit different for a section here. We don't want to be able to have any lights peeking into it. We want actually to make it quite dark. Hopefully we do succeed with that. We'll have to see. But the section's going pretty nicely. Let's just corner the rest of it off here with this lovely block to go around the edges. Do you actually have a plan after this that might be a bit spicy to finish it off with? As we can then continue along over here. There we go. Let's have a look then. It's a very wide section. Let's have a look through here then. So you're coming in on entry. Bit difficult to get it the angle right. There we go. And this is your corner. That really comes at you. Are we going to have a dirt banks? I don't think we're going to bother through here. This is going to be like a totally just fresh section, I do think. No. It's going to go above anyway. Let's just place this section with some motorsport stuff. It makes sense here. Some reason the roof up here is not doing a fantastic job. Don't know why. It certainly isn't doing a good job here. Right, that's a little bit annoying because the roof is actually not really helping us at this point. Let's go and see if we can place like another roof on top of it. That sounds really unusual, but the roof is not really blocking out the light as much as I would have wanted to. So that's what we're going to do. As I go past 5 twice. Let's see, this should make a difference. I want it to be dark. At the moment, it's not very dark. Is this making it better? Of course, it's not going to be fully dark because we have got some seeping through. Why is it that light colour? Very frustrating, very frustrating. I think it's just naturally this colour, isn't it? Not much we can do about it, really. Ooh, the difficulties. There's no point having that then, it doesn't make a difference. Never mind, never mind. Because this is just sort of just not... Let's inspect the section a bit. It is literally just brown underneath, isn't it? Let's inspect it, but it looks very brown. Let me see. Come on, let's go down. Can we go down a bit? Come on. Gosh, man. We're just not being allowed in here. But I do think that the underside of it's just not really suited for the situation. Well, let's see then. Let's turn this off. Why can't we seem to get in here? Can't seem to get in, can we? How helpful. Let's have a think about it then. We want some tires sort of coming in around here. Come on, let's let us in. Let us in a little bit further here. Don't know why we can't get underneath. I don't know if I've done something here. Ah, here we go. That's better. Much better. So sadly the roof isn't very camouflaged, but we're alright, I think. It's still kind of dark, I suppose. Ah, there had to be something annoying, didn't there? There had to be something to annoy us. As we'll turn manual object light on. Just to help on to help us a bit. In terms of this corner here, we're going to make you take a white line in, I think. We'll just slot that here. Please. Thank you. There we go. And then probably just keep going along a bit here, because we don't really need... I think we're fine to go along a bit. with it, because we can just carry this along to the next corner. Fast sweepers. Close to the wall, push the limits. Nothing quite like it, eh? Nothing like a fast sweeper. That's what we're going for. That's at least the tactic, I do believe. My tactic, at least. To try and make something exciting here. Let me think. Actually, we're probably going to go like... So, let me get to 5. There we go. The right colour. And then same again with this. Just to corner it off around this section. But I actually think we'll be going back to the one piece. So it's going to tighten back up again. You've had your nice break. Back to solitary confinement sort of thing, you know? We are not giving them much of a break here. We'll get the right colour on that, and then of course get the right colour on this. Just to get that slotted in there. Is that gonna... Is object snapping on? There we go. Perfect. Right, so actually... This will not be necessary, because we're going to be adding in some more of these blocks here, because we do need to corner this section off, as you do, to just keep the tunnel feel of solitary confinement to it. Right, there we go. We'll continue with the music roaring in the background. And let's put in some more of these tyres. This is a fast sweeping section. That's the target, and hopefully we can fulfill that. It's meant to be fast, it's meant to be furious. Because that's the target here. It's meant to be a difficult section to drive, as I've just got the wrong piece out first. Doesn't exactly help us. It is a darker colour scheme, I have to say. I'm very annoyed about the roof, because that would have made it a bit darker, I do feel. But not to be, eh? Not to be. There we go. Then, of course, on the corners, exits here. It is a very, very wide section. We're making it pretty easy for them, actually, which I feel a bit annoyed about. Didn't particularly want to make it easy for them. Just admitted I'm trying to make it very difficult and annoying there. But this is the, like, down here, you know, the down here section is more difficult in a sense. It is more technical, I feel, than the other section up, like, on the higher level, of course. Because it's 2 sections here. It's a very big area, which is what we wanted. Now you can see it's coming along pretty nicely, is this section. That was the target, at least. Really wide section, which I'm not entirely sure how I was going to make that work, but I think it actually does work, so I'm happy with that. So instead of having a hairpin, we've made it a wider section. And now is probably going to be the difficult bit. This is the hairpin. And it is a weird one, I do believe, in my opinion. That's why I think it's a weird one. Because we're actually trying something very different on the exit. So that ends there. The reason why I'm doing hairpin, because I actually think that hairpin really did add to what we made last time. We made a section last time. I liked it. Was it good enough? No. It wasn't really what I really wanted. So we're trying something a bit different. We've got those fast sweepers. Now the hairpin that I think is very much necessary, really, in my opinion. Then we continue along with these pieces that we've been using a lot, generally just to create the top part of it. As you do. This is, of course, a tight hairpin, which is going to kick you out here. Now, we're going to decorate that in a second, but some of you might have realised what is coming here. Yes, this is happening. We are keeping it nice and interesting for you guys. We are going to have a jump on the exit of the corner. Well, it's not much of a jump, really, to be honest, but it will do. It's going to head uphill, and this should create for some interesting action, I think. You know, that's my opinion. And at the moment, we seem to have run out of space there. So, what is the solution? That's a good question. There isn't really one. New plan. is that we're going to have, probably at the end of it, maybe a bit of a bigger one. Then, 2 dirt blocks. Let's see, do we have a couple I can just use here? There we go. And now we'll sort out the sides for it, of course. If we just turn on object snapping, off manual object height. I do find that it's not that difficult to create on Playground. I mean, there is a bit of difficulty involved. It's not too difficult though. It's pretty good, pretty user friendly. So you can create your own creations here. You can make your make your friends test them out. Bit of fun, you know, so you can get the fastest lap time. I'll certainly be doing that, you know, so you can be the quickest. Always a bit of fun. Test yourselves around the track. This section is a tight section, but we needed that just after we'd had the easy section. Don't worry guys, we are going to test things out in a second. My object height should be on now. We are going to test it out in a second. We are going to ensure that it is drivable. We might have to adjust the hairpin section a little bit. We'll have to see. At the moment, I think it should be alright, but it could be a little difficult in terms of trying to actually get the car around it. I don't know if you can get the car around quick enough. You're going to need to know that there's a hairpin coming, unless you're just dead meat. It's going to take a few goes, I think, definitely for someone to get some sort of pace around here, because it is not simple. This track is not simple. It's quite complicated, quite twisty at times. Certainly is difficult. Don't know why it's not actually not designed to slot in right there, but that shall do. That's your hairpin. Head up the hill. First test of the day. It's been a while into the video before we've actually added in a test here, but I think we're deserving of a test. You guys are deserving of one. I'm starting to tease you a little bit, putting some pace into it. I've slowly done this. Starting out on my wheel, now I'm actually on controller. It's a bit easier to get around this track, I feel a bit at times on controller. Certainly without spending hours and hours practicing it while I'm building it and changing chunks while I'm at it. So we're going pretty nicely. Pretty happy with it this lap. Start with, of course, this is one of the new sections. Wasn't on the original sort of, we did, in a sense. This section always has been, in a sense. We've kept it as a lovely section. Very difficult. Then another downhill section to get to here. Always a tight exit there. I like this section. This is very much like the lower section. A little bit of a teaser for that before you got there. Then the downhill section, we adjusted this last video if you guys didn't watch that. Just so you guys know, we did adjust it. Then we adjusted this section too. There's some elevation change there. Before, we also adjusted this section. And this section. This is now the technical bit. Let's see if I make myself look a fool through here. I don't actually, it's not the quickest through there, but I don't make myself look a fool. There we go. It's doable, but it's tight, and that's going to get some real pros testing it out. Oh, look at this. It's like it's green lights all the way down here before you reach this section. A really fast section. Got to be careful though. Then, this left-hander, tight up the hill. Look at that. Then there's going to be this left-hander. Wow. This is actually very fun here, I think. Really liking it. Let's have a look at what we can do then in terms of heading up the hill. The hairpin's tight, I have to say. It is tight. Whether we do need what I put on the exit or not, I don't know. You might have realised that we're continuing with the tunnel theme. I actually think it works fantastically well, so yeah. It's what you're getting, basically. I think what we'll do is we'll just sort of go along now with this. Makes sense, doesn't it, to go along here with this. And then, when you're fully up, we're probably going to just make it like a tight right-hander here. I think we'll do that, mainly. Just because you need a bit of time to recuperate after the jump. It's not really that much of a jump, but we'll give them time for that. It does, however, mean that this is a tighter corner. Then we'll have another one going along here. Then, to finish it all off with, we'll sort out the sides of stuff in a second. The finale, in a sense, of the track heads along here and all the way along here to the finish line, which is going to be sat here, pretty much. Just about here. And then, once you've done the finish line, a little section after it. Whether we've actually got long enough here for you to get stopped, I'll probably put it here then. Probably go here. Then, a little section after it. Probably include some of the motorsport barriers just on the sides. A little bit of decoration. I know I'm doing the outer part before the rest of it in a sense, but we'll just get this bit done. It's like a runway to get yourself stopped. You don't have that long before you're going to drive off into something else. I'm making it look a little bit realistic on this section here. No, that's not really the target of making the whole track, but it's what we're doing. You know, it's what we're doing on this section. How are we going to put that like that? A bit awkward, isn't it? Doesn't exactly fit. I'll probably just move that bit out then. Let's have them both a bit out then. Okay, that's annoying. Let me see if can I get it centered up. Okay, that'll do. No, it won't. Forwards, forwards. Nope. Let me move this off then. Stand there, mate. One forward. Oh, I didn't want to have to turn object snapping off, but it looks like we're going to have to. There we go, that's sort of sorted. Sort of sorted. Loving this song in the background. Then off the edges. I know it's a little bit off the edges. It's not really normal, but it's okay. Is this section too long? I don't know. I mean, this is making it look a bit safer. Surely I should be promoting safety, you know. Don't want to try and kill anyone driving around the track, do you? Ah, look at that. Then this is your finishing section. Might add something onto that after. I don't know. Right. There's no actual checkpoints at any point really over here. Which is a bit weird. That I haven't included any checkpoints for the whole tunnel section. But it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Because I've said so. I think you got the whole tunnel section. It's like the finale of the track in a sense. That's at least the idea. We'll probably go along one at the sides there. That makes sense. Just to curve it around a bit. What have I done? What am I doing? And then this one slots in there. As always, the smaller blocks, these lovely ones that sit on top, and you can see this isn't the most aesthetically pleasing from the outside, is it? I think it looks a lot nicer in terms of what we've gone for than it did before. Looks a bit some sort of like UFO thing now, but that's fine. It's fine. No need to worry. There we go. On the edges, perfect. As always, that's the target. It's the target, and it is starting to... This is really starting to come along this section. Really pleased with this. I'm not sure how the tunnel section would go. Remaking it, and it is, in my opinion, 10 times better than before. You know, just got to sort this section out. Place these along. Loving the colour scheme. Don't know why I've accidentally done that. We'll sort it out in a second. Ah, and then the inside line. We do need to get this section over here sorted. And we are flying along in today's video, I have to say. You know, it's only just probably past halfway of what, like, the length of the other ones. And we are absolutely flying along. Then again, we haven't had that large of a chunk to do, but we have been engineering a whole tunnel section, which is looking pretty fantastic here. If you guys are enjoying the video, if you're enjoying the content, hit the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, totally free, helps me out. The normal stuff, you guys know the drill by now. You know what I'm going to say. It's a pest. But, you know, without that, I can't make this content. I can't make this regular, hopefully good quality. That's not my choice, not my decision to judge in a sense. But you guys can tell me if it's good quality, because hopefully it is, because I put a lot of work into these videos. And, you know, it is a tiring thing. It's a hard thing just to be getting, what, like, a few views per video when you're spending hours on them. And these Dirt 5 videos have been really great for me because they don't take as long as, let's say, a career mode video. They still take a lot of time, but the actual editing amount and stuff, it's a lot smaller. It's a bit more of a playthrough, kind of watch me do it. And I've also really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the series too. But don't worry, we're not stopping career mode. I love doing career mode. I actually enjoy editing it for some reason. I don't know why. But I just don't know. But it's fun to, it's kind of fun to edit at the same time, you know. You know, certainly not tedious to do. I do feel like we're making a bit too tight through this section. But the exit's going to be pivotal here. I'm not kidding. Exit equals pivotal for this section. Because, I mean, if you don't get your exit right, that's going to pay... You're going to have to pay the price for the rest of that straight afterwards to the finish. It's a short one, but the exit, you know, we're talking about every little exit here is important. If we make it a difficult exit, you know, there's going to be people swearing their heads off at me because they made a little mistake, and it's cost them everything on the exit. It's cost them potentially the fastest out of everyone, just a little bit on the exit because I made a difficult corner. There, look at this. This is coming along very nicely. And because of this, I would like to put some decorations on here. We can't though, because it is not going to work through this section. In terms of lighting wise, it's a little bit brighter, I feel, up on top. But of course, you've got your finish line over here. Through this section. Absolutely looking fantastic. I wonder if you can drive through hay bales. That would be pretty cool. I know you can drive through these tyres, which is pretty cool. But look at this. It is looking fantastic. Let's give it a test here. And when I say a test here, we're gonna go for something good here. I kind of have learned the track a little bit of what to do. There's a way to take the first part of it, if you guys have been watching. That is not the quick way around through there, but it is a nice section. This left-hander, feel that exit fantastic as you head down the hill. The first sort of hill jump in a sense. And then this section, clip the inside barrier, head along to this section. Follow the grey line pretty closely. Take a little bit of the elevation change if you can, especially over on the exit. Then the hill of doom, as you can call it here. It's a very difficult section, as you can see. Quite easy to get it a bit messed up through there. You've got to have the elevation change though to make it interesting. Then this corner, heading down the hill before the left-hander. Lovely through there. Get the car rotated, get the revs. Then this hill is very, very bumpy. Wrecking the underneath of the car, but I really like this section. It's got a weird feel to it, but it drives fantastically. Then over here, take a high line on exit, then a checkpoint through here. And checkpoints are a bit sparser at the bottom part of the track. Then, of course, this section, once you've negated the chicane, take it through here. Now push off the exit to get this right. It's a difficult section, take the line right. Then, feel the green tint as you head through here. Let the car drift out a little bit. Get the throttle on the exit. Fantastic section. Before, of course, the lovely chicane. Look at this. We do need to sort out there. Found something. Oh, the air before this section is fantastic. Then the final corner as you run to the finish. Then brake in time. Right, I have really enjoyed that. That was a fantastic lap to drive around. The only one little thing I feel like the problem was probably at some of these sections. Let me have a look. Let's go along these sections here then. We don't need to like go all the way along in terms of some of this, like just this. I think this is the problem with the elevation change. It made it a little bit too light on some parts of it, so we'll just go along nicely here. Now, then you're heading up the hill. There's no real light seeping through here. No real light that, I mean, in terms of the roof here, the roofs are fine on these. It's just over here, quite annoying with the roof. Don't particularly like that, but there's not much you can do about it. Then the finish line here, really nice track. Some tighter sections, faster sections. It is really, really fun to drive. Really happy with what we've managed to make so far. I think we're pretty much there with the track, I have to say, you know. Let's just bring it up a bit here. Is it going to want to come up? I don't know where it is at the moment. Oh, there it is. Is manual object hide on? No, it doesn't. That's why we couldn't get it up here. You want it up here. You want it up here. Right. Let's just have maybe a band of stuff at the finish here. What about a whole block of it to finish it off here? We've got a bit more time in this video before I go for just some runs around the track. Let's just throw it on. Throw them on. Have a little bit of fun with it. There we go. That should be pretty close to it. There we go. And on. We're just going to lay these out nicely along here. Keep them going. Nice and decorative at the finish. Sort of thing. Just as you're getting to the finish. And you can drive through these lovely tyres. Don't know if it slows you down. Certainly won't speed you up, I don't think, but I doubt it'll slow you down that much. So, a little fun section just before the finish. Thought I'd add it in. Makes a bit of sense, doesn't it, to add it in on this part. I think just a strip will do. It's quite interesting to see how it goes, of course. Then its sides, there we go. Not a particular fan of that, actually. That much, but it's fine. There we go. So that's this kind of... I don't know how... Let's test that out in a second. Another thing I was also thinking... Do we have signs at the moment? Do we need these signs for sections like this here? Do we need the signs here? Let's head down a bit. Let me think. Ah, this would work. There we go. That's what we do. There we go. These are going to be possibly quite helpful. Just solely because, you know, it's not an easy section, is it, really? It is, you know, you're under the tunnel, you can't really tell where you're going next. Bit disorientating. We'll put in some of these signs dotted around here so that you know where to go next. Of course, once you're on the exit of that corner, you'll know, okay, another right-hander coming up. Well, it's pretty obvious at that point, but just for the fact we can get it right here. Where are we now? We're up here. We've made it up to the top level. And then, of course, you've got this. Probably need the left-hander sign now, isn't it? This one. Because you're going to be heading along the left-hander. Then another left-hander to finish off the lap. There. Got those sorted. Don't know what else there is really to do now. It's looking pretty good. A little bit of negative space over here, but not too much. Let's go for another test, I suppose. Why not go for another test? So you start off this section. Pace up here is pivotal. Then you want to get it nicely up there. Sometimes being a little bit more gentle on the throttle and thinking about where you apply it can be a little bit quicker. You can see we're really gaining some pace here. Absolutely loving it through this section. We're testing it out, also finding any little mistakes I've made, anything that we can sort of fix. But I like this section. It is a fun section. It's difficult, as you can see. You want to get the line right. We got a decent line there, and then you can take it quite high up there. This is a difficult section, of course, with those 3 bumps. But then here, nice right-hander. Use the rear to your advantage to avoid that section. This section a bit tighter than what we've already had. Then this section probably make the driver throw up, but by the end of it, you've had some fun. Then this left-hander, oh, look at that, absolutely sweet. High speed, low speed corners. And now, this is where the fun begins. at this section. We've messed it up a little bit this lap around the track, but the tight section then finishes. You want to take the line how you want it round here. We've taken a really unorthodox line, probably not the quickest. You can then see that you're going to be taking this right-hander right like that, to then be very aggressive on the throttle. Only one little sort of lift zone. Then up the hill we go. The lovely lights before this section absolutely launches you into it. A bit tighter up here before the finish. There you go. Head through there. Having a little bit of a think about it. What else have we got we could use? I mean, there's the stunt show. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Look at that. Coming over the line. Here you go. Here you go, mate. Take some of that. I'm just having a little bit of a discover now. See what we've got that we could use. Just to have a look. Oh, the junkyard section. Pretty fun, isn't it? Of course, they're just seeing what we could do. I have a different plan here. I'm actually going to take those tyres out, as I'm sure some of you guys want that. It's not exactly what exactly. I think we'll just take. I think we're going to do something a bit different here. Instead of these here, we're going to take them out. Because it's not professional. Sounds a bit weird, but no. Don't really want them here. I have a different plan, maybe. Because, I mean, this is a nice barrier section. This is a nice section, isn't it? But how far along can we go? Me trying to figure out what we can do. If we were to take these out, oh god, that's not going to happen. Let's just slot that there. Thank you. There we go. That's a bit better. We don't want too many of these, actually, so it's a different plan. Move this along a bit to about here. I think would probably be a better idea. You can still get the car stopped before there, I think. There we go, that's a bit better. And then, let's head back along to the platform, not platform blocks, but the gate crasher section. And we have the opportunity to put some of these in. For the finish here, creating a tunnel of checkpoints. A little weird, but it could work. It could be nice. It could be like you get the fireworks flying along. Object snapping's on. Manual object height should be turned off now. Come on. These are sort of free placement items, so you want to get your lines right with them. I think that's about right. Is there enough space? Get rid of that one. Who needs them? Who needs that, yeah? Let's just throw in checkpoints all the way around. So difficult to get them lined up right here because it is very difficult to get them lined up right. I'm focusing a bit now just so we can get this nicely finished off at the end here. As you do. Sit that on there. And this is looking pretty cool to finish it off with. A tunnel of checkpoints to complete your circuits, because it will throw up a little bit of sort of fireworks off the side. It'll hopefully give a good effect instead of the tyres, which are good but not really what I would say. Please fit in there, please fit in. Nope. Definitely a difficult one to get right. Look at this section now. I mean, you're coming through here and you can just see this. Before the finish line. I think we'll take this off. It's a very tight one here to try and get this how we want it. The tunnel of checkpoints, of course, to the finish. Of course, we could actually just put barriers and send it in to the section. If we need to. I want to line it up perfectly, but in terms of like with the exit of the actual tunnel itself, but that's not very easy to do. Once it's done, we will go through our final few runs of the track to finish off this video and the making of this lovely dirt track that we've got. It's looking fantastic now, in my opinion. Let's just slot that in there. Then, in terms of what would we do now, it's a bit of a difficult one, isn't it? Because you don't really know what to do here, because you can't really do much in this section before it, because, yeah, we just can't do much in this situation to sort it out for this section. Ah, righty. The solution. These. We haven't used many of them, but they are a solution. What if we just put them like these? Like this. Just pain for the driver. We always like to do this. Slot these in. I mean, I don't know if it's going to make it drivable or not, because of what we're trying to do, but it should work. This should work, yeah. Hopefully. Of course, the end of the tunnel. Onto the next part, which is the checkpoint and finish tunnel. Looking really good here. Looking cool. Looking fun to drive. Really fun to drive. The rear of this barrier should be a lot further out, I feel. That should do. Where is the rear? The rear is just over the edge there. And for this one, the rear's kind of a bit further over the edge. Or, there's the other solution, which is we just do this. That seems like a better solution, in my opinion. Instead of trying to take them out before the end of it. I mean, the end, you know, you've done the final corner here, just get over the line, mate. Get over the line. It's kind of that. I think that's a bit fairer. Is that same side we're using? No. Let's see, can we get the right side now? I swear it was just curling a little bit across to the side here. Let's just get this right here. Let's see, is that right? This is curling a little bit across, so just don't know anymore. Ah, trying to perfect the final bits, eh? Trying to perfect the final bits. A bit for there, that will do. This wall needs to come along a bit. There we have it, the two final little dirt barrier block sort of things before you finish off the track. Because that is a little bit weird off the edges here. It does not really want to sit. I mean, there's not much more we can do about it, really. I have to say, because really in the situation, there's nothing you can do. That to be a problem, just right. Ah, right. Other solution. Just come up with a much better solution that I really could have done to start with. Don't know why I didn't think of this. Simple. Industrial simple. There, done. Easy. Pretty easy, actually. Didn't really take much to do that. And then, of course, you know, this is... I don't think we need mouths at the side like that much. Probably don't even need this much, just like a little bit extra. There, done. Before your checkpoint, finish with the flag there. Let's give it a couple of runs. There we go, a nice start off the very bumpy section there, then up the hill, really use the traction on the exit, let the rear slide out a little bit, then down the hill. So far, no real massive jumps, but plenty of sliding. Use that, try and really get on the throttle early on the exits. This corner's a bit more difficult there, a little bit awkward, but this section, one of the slightly difficult sections of the track, use it to your advantage instead of your nemesis in a sense. This section, always difficult, almost going a little bit slower, gets you a much better exit. There's lessons to be learned on this track, definitely, from practice. Oh, lovely. Really push it to the wall. You've got to risk losing the lap if you want to get a good lap, in a sense. It's that sort of thing, you know, you've got to push it to the limit, like on F1. The main staple of my channel at the moment. Probably will remain to be as we get a bit messy there. Then this left-hander, pretty fast. before the jump for the checkpoint. Then you come towards the end of this section. Get a little bit... You can't go quickly through this section. You've got to get slowed down. It is a very much practice section. That chicane is absolutely lovely. Then be aggressive on the throttle. Easy to slide out into the barrier. Next corner. Really be aggressive. There, like so. Push the car. This corner's not one to be aggressive. It's one to be slow, but good and quick on the throttle on the exit. Up the bumps. Get the car round just in time without colliding. And then finally, to finish it all off, to the flag. We go again. That was plenty of fun. Let's go again. That was a bit terrible. I know how to take this track here. I know how to take it by this point. Oh, that was not how you take it. Don't know what I'm doing. This is exactly what you want to do, like so. Yep, there we go. We're seeing the back of the Skoda so that you guys can sort of just admire the livery and the rear sliding a bit more. You can feel it a little bit more when I'm driving the car, like when I feel like I'm on the car. I can really sense the rear. You can feel the rear a lot more. When you're just watching it like this, it's a bit harder, but you guys can get a great view of it as we come towards completing this section of track. And we do a little bit of a pirouette there with the car. Why not? Heading up the hill then, under the lovely sun, before heading down the hill again for another hairpin corner. Oh, you can really push the limits here. You can use the walls to your advantage in a sense. They're not going to speed you up, but they can save you. Definitely. Don't be afraid to accidentally use a wall. Absolutely fine. This corner, absolutely lovely corner if you get it right. You can really push now through this section. Once you've got the exit, now the slow bit. Once you pass the checkpoint, you've got to be slow through this section. You've got to be smooth. You've got to be fast. This section is good for someone on a wheel, I feel. On a controller. You can't get those little inputs that you need for it. Look at that though, there, push through that section. Almost taking your high lines quicker through there to then get your run down to the start of this. A little lift, then flat out through the second part of it. A bit like Imola. Then you've got a hairpin here. Like Shanghai. Tight corner here. And then you just got the final corner to negotiate before the checkpoints to the finish. And if you can get it stopped in time, then even better. Well, we're going to end it, I think, with one more little run here. This is the last and final run here on today's video. We've finished the track. It's done. It is complete. And by golly, does it look fantastic. Look at it. Absolutely fantastic, this section. Tell me what you guys think in the comments section below. We've got the green and reds running all the way through. 16 checkpoints, of which most of them are actually right at the end of the track during the tunnel section. But of course, plenty of checkpoints. Plenty of distance. Lots of elevation change. Lots of tighter corners. Lots of faster corners. You don't really get out third gear much at all. In fact, you don't really get out second gear much. You can get into third gear at points, I do believe, if you drive in certain ways. This lovely section. Down the hill, take the rear. Then another corner. Ooh, just tested a little bit. Nicely through there. As we come to finishing this section, the chicane. Oh, we've done it again. This section, very difficult. You can do it, as you can see there, we've just managed to get it done. It's just about lining yourself up for this section too. Another difficult section. If you get it wrong, you pay the price. A little bit of a messy lap to finish, but it's understandable, isn't it? It's a difficult track. Well then, sadly, we're not going to have long enough to finish the lap here as we head towards the hairpin. If you've enjoyed the video, guys, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. But I will see you guys sometime soon with a different video.